Maladjusted Misfits.
Hi, I'm Adam. And that's my new monkey.
And I didn't agree to this. I'm Joe.
And we're the Maladjusted Misfits.
And this is the one where we talk about friends.
So much poo everywhere.
Gross. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to this week's episode.
Yes, another week, another episode.
Yay. We're on episode 19.
Yeah, but before we get started, we talked
Oh, sorry.
about we have a couple announcements
Okay.
to make.
Some exciting announcements for the Maladjusted Misfits. Go ahead.
So we talked about at the end of every season doing a couple special bonus things.
Yeah.
We'll go through the whole season, and then at the end, we're going to do one of the movies that stars one of our friends.
Yeah. Like Fools Rush In with Matthew Perry. Or
Right.
Scream with Courtney Cox.
Scream is a good one.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Scream.
Oh, and Easy A with Lisa Kudrow.
Right. Well, we'll try to pick ones where they're starring.
All right.
Not like Charlie's Angels. Matt LeBlanc is in there for like 30 seconds. But this week, do we want to tell them what we're doing, or we want to leave it as a surprise?
You can tell them.
At the end of season 1, we're going to be doing, to kind of honor Matthew Perry, we're going to do a Matthew Perry movie. Mm-hmm. And it's one of my favorites.
Yep. Whole 9 yards.
Whole 9 yards.
It's a good movie. It's funny.
It's a fun movie.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of connections to Friends because he obviously got Bruce Willis to be on the show.
Right.
Because they did become friends in, real life.
Right.
He was in a couple of Bruce Willis movies.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do a season rehash episode.
Yeah.
Where we kind of
go back and talk about our favorites and favorite outfits and our sweater vest count.
Right.
And,
we'll do a whole wrap up, a character wrap up of kind of synopsis of what everybody went through during the season and how we felt about it overall.
Yeah.
So we're going to have 2 bonus episodes at the end of season 1.
Yep.
And then we'll go right into season 2.
Cool.
I think that'll be fun.
Yeah. And it'll, break up the seasons. So.
Right.
All right. So this week's episode is...
the one where the monkey gets away. Oh, shit. My monkey already escaped.
Yeah, it escaped.
Did you do something to my monkey?
So what's our plot from IMDb?
You can always say the Internet Movie Database if you prefer.
That's true.
The gang frantically search for Ross's monkey, Marcel, after Rachel loses him.
Sweet.
Succinct
to the point.
and apt.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so this week's epised was
directed by
Peter Boners. I don't know if we're saying that right still, but that's his name.
I mean, it's Bonerz.
Right. So if it were...
I think he was a comedic actor before, so...
If it was an American Pie movie, that would be his name.
Right.
So, all right. So overall, he directed 12 episodes of Friends, spanning the first 4 seasons.
Right.
And we already said that he was the other doctor sharing the office space with Bob Newhart on the Newhart show. But he also played Mr. Boswell in one episode of the original 1964 Addams Family TV show.
Yeah, and I've seen that one recently.
That's so funny. And he played Franklin Hart, Dabney Coleman's character, in 29 episodes of the 9 to 5 TV show in 1982. So
I had no idea there was a 9 to 5 TV show.
I know, but there is, and he played Franklin Hart. So he's an actor / director. This week's episode writers were Jeff Astroff and Mike Sikowitz. We've had them before. But I thought it was really funny because Jeff Astroff is uncredited hockey fan in season 1, episode 4, the one with George Stephanopoulos.
Oh, is he the guy I made fun of for not looking like a hockey fan?
Well, that's exactly what I put. Maybe he was the guy you made fun of for acting like how he thought a hockey fan should act.
One guy is sitting there going, this is how a hockey fan would look.
Or it could have been Mike Sikowitz, because he also played an uncredited hockey fan. So he helped write a total of 8 episodes over season 1 and 2 and was the executive story editor for all of season 2 because Jeff was the story editor.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, at least they stuck with their writing gigs.
Yeah. And not hockey or acting. So the original air date was...
March 9th, 1995. Mm-hmm. So I kind of, it was the same movie and song from last week. Mm-hmm. So I kind of looked up a couple other things.
Okay.
So we talked about Creep being not the Radiohead Creep.
Right.
Well, in March 15th, 1995, Radiohead would release their second studio album, which was The Bins.
Oh, cool.
And also in March 1995 is when Maurizio Gucci, the 46-year-old heir of the Gucci fashion dynasty, was shot dead as he arrived for work in his office in Milan. And is when the House of Gucci movie was set.
Oh, okay. So Adam Driver plays Maurizio Gucci.
Yes.
Funny. I just listened to him on another podcast.
Well, stop listening to other podcasts.
I know. I listen to ours every week. All right, you ready for some trivia?
I am ready for some trivia.
All right. So Chandler informs them in this episode that he went to a boarding school with 400 boys. You remember that?
Yes.
So prior to moving Los Angeles at the age of 15 to live with his American father, Perry lived with his Canadian mother in Ottawa, Canada for several years, during which time he actually did briefly attend Ashbury College, a boarding school with an actual enrollment of approximately 400 boys at the time. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, it is funny. I would not have enjoyed that.
No. After they get back from the movies, Phoebe describes a movie that had guns, bombs, and buses going really fast. And obviously she's describing the movie Speed, which came out the year before and was one of the most successful films of the early 90s.
I thought that was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down.
Okay, Homer. In the uncut DVD version of this episode, Joey asks Mr. Heckles if he can have his butt magnifying glass, which Joey does later take for himself in the one where Mr. Heckles dies.
I never assumed it was his butt he was going to magnify.
And also, you mentioned in the opening credits, you can see Chandler swiveling in his chair in his cubicle.
Yes.
So I looked it up, and that is an extended scene in the one with the stone guy. So after Mrs. Tedlock tells him that Mr. Koslick wants to see him at the end of the day, apparently he stands on his chair to talk to someone about the prank memos, and then he does that little dance.
Oh.
So, yeah.
We'll have to check that out.
We will. Because we ordered what we thought was the box set of DVDs that had the uncut scenes.
Right.
But we actually ordered the Blu-ray set.
That does not have
That does
extended
not.
scenes.
So Joe ordered the Amazon, went on Amazon, ordered the box DVD set, and it should be here this week. So we'll get to see those live and in person.
And she's going through all of her Amazon gift cards really fast.
I have no money, Christmas money left. So, all right. So, what were your episode reactions to this week?
Okay, well, I really love the monkey hijinks in this one.
Yeah.
I really kind of think they figured out at this point that they were going to get rid of Marcel.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like they wanted to have one big fun monkey episode before they
got rid of
him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I have no insight knowledge into that. That's
right.
just the impression that I get from the episode.
Okay.
Knowing Marcel's tenure on the show is almost coming to pass.
Right.
However, this may be the episode where I did first think that Ross and Rachel maybe should not date.
Oh, yeah?
I think that, when we first watched them, I don't think we ever watched them in order.
Right.
It was just here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point you did buy the DVDs, which we then sold. And
now we're buying them back.
And went through them all. But I think that this was one of the episodes where I was like, I don't like how he talks to her.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I like the episode. I like when they're all split up looking for the monkey. There's a ton of funny lines in this episode.
Yeah.
I like Mr. Heckles. I love Marla Hooch. But you're right. I don't like people who yell at me. Even when we're mad at each other, we don't like yell at each other like that or say things that we can't take back. And I think he crossed a line. I mean, I would have cried if he would have yelled at me like that. And I would have walked away and said, find your own damn monkey, you dick.
And again, I just want to say, I don't know how common these feelings for Ross are.
Yeah.
You know, I just know how we've talked about friends, and I'm just giving my take. And it obviously doesn't matter to anybody else but me. But I do think that he does act strangely during this. I mean, there's other episodes, everybody's that way.
Right.
But
he goes from 0 to 60 like in a second.
Right.
Like immediately from pouring her wine and dimming the lights to, what the fuck did you do?
Right.
And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, we'll talk about it more.
Yeah.
All right. So favorite lines. I like in the opening when she's looking at the country club newsletter, and she goes, Barry and Mindy are getting engaged, and she goes, Barry, who are you? Almost, and Mindy, my maid of.
Right.
I like that line.
Yeah. Mindy, my maid of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with, that's not my monkey, just the dress is mine. You can sit it back whenever you want.
Mr. Heckles, that is a funny line.
And there were quite a few funny lines again in this one.
Absolutely.
Mr. Heckles is one of those.
His delivery is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
He just cracks me up every time he's on.
All right, my favorite moment was when, so I did the cold open in the tag. In the tag when Phoebe's butt cheek is waking back up.
Yeah.
And she's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I think that's funny.
It is pretty funny. I'm going to kind of go with a related favorite moment.
Okay.
I really like when the Shaft music kicks in and Phoebe taking the shot for Marcel.
Right.
I mean, an action Phoebe series where she's defending animals should have been a real spin-off.
Forget the Joey show. It should have been Phoebe. All right. Favorite outfit.
Oh.
I know what your favorite outfit is without even reading this.
Well.
It's just because I know you.
All right, so I'm just going to say the Rachel sweater, skirt, socks, it's all a bit dated, but she looks yummy. I mean, the quote-unquote hot neighbors did try to sway me away, but they did not.
Well, I mean, I would have picked that one too because everyone else's outfit looks blah. I mean, Phoebe looks like a grandma, and Monica's just wearing a white button down with jeans and a belt. So I'm going to go with one of the hot neighbors. I think Tia the brunette, and they're actually named in this episode. Mm-hmm. Tia is the brunette with the daiquiris. She has Rachel's men's shirt from last week. You know, it's a long button down, and she has no pants on. So. Right.
And again, we're big fans of that look. I mean, the week Ursula was on there.
Yeah,
and
with the shirt.
Sport and Joey's shirt. No
right.
pants. I almost went with that, but I was like, I don't know if I can give it to Ursula. That's weird.
She's a mean character. All right, so themes we explored in this episode.
Themes. Illegal exotic animals loose in New York City.
A theme, being a bitch in high school.
Yes. And leaving food that you don't want in the hallway. I didn't know that was a thing, but
apparently it is.
It happens a lot in their building.
All right.
Belgian waffles, cheesecakes, pizzas.
All right, we're going to take a break before the episode breakdown.
That's right. I can't believe this. I mean, all I asked you to do was keep him in the apartment.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, you know what? I guess this is partially my fault. You know, I mean, I shouldn't have asked you to. I should start off with a monkey. I should have started you off with like a pen or a pencil.
Ross, I'm doing everything that I can. I got everybody looking for him, and who is it?
Animal control.
See, I've even got animal control.
You called animal control?
Uh-huh. Why? Do you not like them? Ross, is that a gun? Wait, Ross!
You owe me a monkey. We're back for the episode analysis.
So we're back with the cold open at Central Perk, and it's just Rachel. And the scene opens with Rachel having memorized the types of tea that they have. So Earl Grey.
She tries, at least, in
English
this one.
breakfast, cinnamon stick, chamomile, mint medley, blackberry, and lemon soother to a guy who has no interest in having tea. So, again, poor Rachel and her pathetic waitress skills.
Yes, she's so bad. I can't imagine being that bad at being a waitress.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Well, I mean, I do think it's one of those things. Like, yeah, you could work in fast food or food service, but as a waitress, I mean, you either do or you don't.
Right.
You know, it's like...
It's a hard... I think she has such a hard time because she does not give a shit.
Yeah.
But it's a hard job to keep if you don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. No wonder she gets lousy tips.
Right. Then we're back to Central Perk again. And it's just Rachel again, but Monica comes in right away. And she's got the mail call. Rachel Green, bunk 7. Which is pretty funny, but I don't know if that's a reference.
It's just things they did at camp, and you didn't like camp. So.
Oh, yeah, I did not like camp. Much like boarding schools.
Right.
Not my thing. Rachel got a free coffee sample and the Country Club newsletter. Ick.
So watch for the next couple of episodes. I mean, if you see Rachel in this and you look at the back of her hair,
Yes.
it is fucked up.
Right.
I know she's growing out the Rachel cut, but it's so messy.
It's so messy. And it looks very dry back there. And
it's really weird. Like she was laying down and rubbed her head on the pillow and then jumped up and did her scene.
like, I don't know. It's something we could look up is if the hairdressers and fashion people
change.
Yeah,
that's
like
true.
Season 2 or 3
because was your hair teased?
Because their hair gets so much better and their clothing gets so much better. And I don't know if it's just because they're making more money, so they can spend more money on stuff like that. But yeah, her hair looks pretty crazy. But in the Country Club newsletter is Barry, who she almost, and Mindy, her maid of, are going to get hitched.
That's right.
And Monica thinks that Mindy is pretty. Lucky to have a friend like Rachel. So Rachel's mother forwarded to her this newsletter with Barry and Mindy's announcement in it.
Yeah.
And that's a bitch move.
I think so. I think Monica's mother and Rachel's mother get together and trade tips.
we get together and go bowling. I can see if you're nagging your kid to get married, sending her the...
Right, yeah.
But you think you'd skip that one.
Right.
Maybe she doesn't even fucking look at him anymore. Who knows?
All right, so then we got to scene 2, which is Monica and Rachel's apartment, and Rachel and Ross are sitting there. Mm-hmm. It opens with Ross and Rachel eating Chinese food because it's either pizza or Chinese food on Friends. Right. Or maybe Monica would make a salmon now and then. So, but Marcel brings the rice to Rossi, and Ross makes a pee in the versus bring the joke that Rachel doesn't hear because she's fixated on this engagement announcement for Barry and Mindy.
Yes.
And she tells Ross, I gave him up, so I shouldn't be happy for them. So I should be happy for them, sorry. But she's not. No. And really, why should she? I mean, it's kind of a dick move on both of them. She's lucky she got out of that relationship. Yeah. You know, like, he was seeing her maid of honor before they got married, and then he marries her? Like, no.
Yeah. The whole thing's just...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how she would not be like, oh, good for them, throw it away.
Right, exactly. So Rachel says she might feel different if she were with someone... And Ross asked about the penis embargo, because remember, she said she didn't want to see a man.
Right. But how long did Ross think the penis embargo was going to last? That's not a permanent solution.
Well, I mean, his first wife is a lesbian, so maybe he did believe her embargo was permanent.
She wasn't dating any women, though.
All right. So she says the embargo could be lifted if for the right guy. Mm-hmm. You know, Barry was safe and easy but had no heat. And Paolo was all heat, raw, animal, sexual.
Right.
And Ross stops her before his head explodes. I know, I was there. And then she asks if there can ever be both. Someone who's your best friend, but someone who can also make your toes curl. Hey, Adam. Wink, wink. Should we take a break right now?
Oh, we can take a break.
All right. No, we can't take a break. All right.
Okay. But I feel like this is one of those moments, too, where It's like, how is Rachel not getting this?
Right.
Like, he even starts to say something, and he's like, the guy who gets interrupted. Like, I understand she's upset about other things, but I feel like she's being obtuse.
Yeah.
Is it deliberate?
I don't know. So yeah, then it goes on to Ross say, yes, the one who might be able to curl her toes is someone who, and then everyone walks in, and they're interrupted. Joey, Chandler, Phoebe, and Monica walk in, and Rachel asks how the movie was. And the guys say, total suckfest, total chick flick. Yeah, chick flick. And Phoebe apologizes that it wasn't a movie with guns and bombs and buses going really fast. But, I mean, I love Speed. I think it's a cool movie.
Right. And I like good movies. I don't care what they're about.
Exactly.
I'm not a big fan of romantic comedies.
Right.
You have to win me over if you're a romantic comedy.
There's a few that you do like. Yeah.
But there's some that I do like.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's movies that are dramas that are very, very good.
Yeah. And I like John Wick movies, so. So Joey says he doesn't really need violence as long as there's a little nudity. And Monica says there was nudity. And Joey goes, female nudity. But don't need to see Lou Grant frolicking. So I assume they're talking about 4 Weddings and a Funeral because it was around that same time. And there isn't any nudity, but you do see Hugh Grant's butt.
Oh, I don't remember his butt.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen that, though.
But I don't think it's Sirens because there is a lot of female nudity in that one.
There is a lot.
Do you remember when we went to see Sirens in the theater and we had to move seats?
Yeah. I don't think everybody's going to know what Sirens is.
Okay, so you have to look it up, but tell them.
But Sirens it has Hugh Grant in it, and
Ella McPherson,
and there's a lot of nudity in it.
Yeah.
And when we went to see it, there was some guy sitting behind us who was just like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, it was nasty.
We're like, we're gonna move to the far side of the theater.
That was so gross.
I mean, there's nudity, but it's not like a porno.
No. It's artistic. Yeah.
And it's not very. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just weird. We had to move seats. But anyway, the girls yell, Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant.
Not Lou Grant.
So, Joe, what's your favorite Lou Grant movie? I think, I like About a Boy.
Yeah.
He's made some newer, Guy Ritchie movies that are pretty good, but I don't consider those Hugh Grant movies.
Right.
But I really like About a Boy.
I mean, I like Notting Hill a lot, but I do like him in Sense and Sensibility. Even though it's not a Hugh Grant movie, he does play a significant part in it, and I like Sense and Sensibility. So.
Yes. Give me an occupation, Miss Dashwood, or I will run mad.
All right. So Ross says he has to go and says that he and Marcel are going to take a bath. And Chandler goes, they're still just friends, right?
I don't know.
Kind of weird. And Rachel says that she will see Marcel tomorrow because she's monkey sitting, apparently. And then Monica goes, does Aunt Monica have a say in this? And Ross goes, Aunt Monica, please. And then this was almost my favorite line. Unclench. You won't even be here.
Right. So as this one was all about monkey stuff.
Yep.
I realized that Ross just walk around New York City with Marcel on his shoulder. No leash, no crate.
Yeah.
He just always has Marcel on his shoulder.
And I guess that's how he transports him. And how has he not run off before?
Right.
I mean, there's no collar, no nothing on him. So
on the subway, he's just sitting there with the monkey on his shoulder.
Right. Apparently, I guess.
So then we go to Joe G Pizza. And the fellas are eating pizza.
Right.
Joey and Chandler are surprised to be having the Rachel conversation yet again.
Yes.
They are beginning to tire of this plot line, as am I.
I got really excited when I was watching and taking my notes yesterday because I thought Chandler was wearing a sweater vest. So I was like, sweater vest! And I started to go to our sweater vest tracker.
Yeah.
But then I realized it was just a beige suit jacket.
Yeah.
Which is worse than a sweater vest.
But Ross still thinks he has a shot. She's looking for someone exactly like him. Well, he added the exactly like him part. So she's looking for someone. So tonight is the night. Just the two of them. She will have spent hours taking care of that fucking monkey. And Chandler laments being unsure when the last time a girl took care of his monkey was. But Ross is going to get some wine and try and woo her.
But instead, he yells at her all night long.
Now, again, his plan going into tonight
Yes.
is tonight's the night I'm going to make. She's looking again. She let me know.
Yep.
I'm going to make my move.
Yep.
That's how he's going into the night.
Right. And we just got off the episode where he was being a jerk playing poker.
Right.
Yeah.
So Chandler suggests taking her to the 1890s when the phrase woo her was last used.
But I looked it up. So according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, it was first used in the 12th century.
Ooh.
I know. That's a very old saying.
That is an old saying. I mean, you think you would have taken Dr. Green out to dinner and given him some animals. I don't know. So the plan is foolproof. Wine, monkey, Rachel, wooing. As long as he doesn't overreact negatively to a problem and lash out in cruel and nasty ways, it should go fine.
It does not go fine. Anyway, so we cut to Monica and Rachel's apartment. Rachel and Marcel are there. So she's monkey sitting. And it opens on Rachel watching a soap opera, but not Days of Our Lives.
Okay.
I think it was Another World.
Yeah.
And she's talking about characters that aren't actually in Another World.
Right. You looked it up.
I did.
She's watching a soap, but...
Yeah.
And then she makes up names to go with the soap.
Right.
So...
And she's explaining the soap opera to Marcel.
Right. Who's getting it all.
Yes, he's totally invested in this soap opera.
Yes.
And then realizes that Marcel pooped in Monica's cute Amish shoes. And then I realized, in future episodes, she's Pennsylvania Dutch, which the Amish shoes would make sense.
Right.
But, so Rachel dumps the poo out in the country club newsletter on Barry and Mindy's face, and they didn't register for it.
That's fine. It's fun because I hate stepping in dog poo. Can you imagine putting your foot into a shoe with poop inside of it?
No.
I'd have left the door open too.
Which is funny because people talk about dogs pooping in their shoes all the time, and we've had, several dogs over our lifetime, and I've never had a dog poop in my shoe.
No.
They've eaten my shoes, but not pooped in them.
No, we had that one dog that was really mad at us and pooped on my pillow.
That was a true fuck you from the dog.
Yeah. He definitely did that on purpose.
All right, so Rachel goes out to apparently throw away this newsletter in the trash chute, I assume, which in later episodes she doesn't know where the trash chute is. But anyway.
This was the last time she used it because it turned out so badly.
So she leaves the door open, hears a gunshot on TV, runs back to see who died, and tells Marcel it wasn't Dexter, and then realizes that Marcel is gone. So then we do a time jump to... they're still in the apartment, but now Joey, Monica, and Chandler are there.
Right.
And she's explaining how she lost Marcel. And then he pooped in Monica's shoes, and Monica goes, "Which one?" And she goes, "I don't know, the left one." And then she goes, "No, which ones?" The clunky Amish things you think go with everything.
And Mon does wear those a lot.
She does.
She's got them on a lot of episodes. It's funny.
And then Phoebe walks into all this negative air.
And Phoebe cleans the air, but she keeps throwing it back into the room. Open a window, hippie.
That's not how you clean the air.
No. If you don't have sage, you gotta open the window and throw it out.
So Chandler explains that Rachel lost Marcel, and Monica chimes in that he also pooped in her shoe. And Phoebe goes, "Which one?" And she goes, "The cute black ones I wear." "No, which one? The left one is good luck." Poop in your shoe is never lucky, okay?
In some cultures, monkey poo in the left shoe is cause for celebration. That is not my culture and heritage.
Which is kind of a throwback to Oh Brother, We're Out There, which you also watched this week.
Yeah. We did watch Oh Brother, We're Out There.
All right, so Joey says, "Okay, you're a monkey in New York City. Where do you go?" And Chandler suggests that he'll want to do some touristy things. So he suggests Cats and the Russian Tea Room. So I looked up the Russian Tea Room. It's on West 57th Street in New York City. It is founded by members of the Russian Imperial Ballet in 1927.
Did not
and
know
I
that.
looked at their menu, and it looks kind of yummy. Although a glazed donut on the brunch menu was $7.
Wow.
But Monica can have the smoked salmon platter for $36, and it closes tonight at 11 p.m.
Well, I don't think we'll be able to get there by 11.
And brunch is probably over by now.
Yeah.
But
Now, I was thinking right away, Empire State Building, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's King Kong, but he's a monkey. And then I was wondering, it would have been funny if any of the King Kong Godzilla movies, if there would have been poop cleanup. If they would have been like, oh, that monkey just shit down the whole side of the building.
what about Mothra flying while she poops?
Or he's throwing the feces at the planes as they're coming at him.
Oh, that would have been an interesting movie. Okay.
Well, yeah, in the movies, he doesn't even have a dong. So, I mean.
All right, so they split up. Chan and Joey take first and second floor. Mon and Phoebe take the third and fourth floor. And Rachel stays by the phone, sprays Lysol on Mon's shoe, and waits for Ross to come home and kill her, which he kind of almost does. So.
Right. Apartment building hallway. Monica, Phoebe, and Mr. Heckles. They ask Mr. Heckles if they have seen their friend's monkey, and he's immediately like, I like that he never answers a question.
Right.
First of all, I wish I could never. I have this compulsion of when people ask me things,
Yes.
I answer the question.
Yes.
But I always love characters in movies who, when asked a direct question, they just deflect into something else. Because I don't have that ability. But he's immediately like, I left a Belgian waffle out here. Did you take it? Now, again, I assumed Mr. H was making the waffle thing up. But later we see Marcel eating it.
Yes.
So when I'm not ready for food, should I start putting it outside to eat it?
I don't think so. Cooper would eat that shit right away.
Yeah. So Monica puts a question to him again, and his response is, I saw Regis filming once. And that's fair. I mean, Pooch and Monkey, Regis filming. I see it. And he just goes, you owe me a waffle. After they walk away.
I love his last lines.
Yeah.
They're always so good. All right. So then we cut back to Monica and Rachel's apartment, and Rachel is there, and then Ross comes in. Rachel's on the phone describing Marcel to the person on the other line, but when Ross walks in, she changes it to a food order
Right.
with Russian dressing and pickles on the side, and then it goes downhill from there. So Ross has his bottle of wine and offers her a drink, and then she says, yes, let's go, but how about we go to Newark?
Oh.
And then Ross goes, before we go to the murder capital of the Northeast, he starts to go on this long story about relationships. You know, remember when you said, and it's just like, just ask her out. Why do you have to preface it
Right.
with, remember earlier or yesterday you said you were lifting the penis embargo and you said
Right.
it was okay? You know, it's just like, just ask.
Right. And I do like moments like this when characters have things that they're thinking about and they don't really listen to each other.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this happens quite a bit in reality.
Hey, I listen. I just can't remember.
Well, sometimes you're thinking, like, sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, you're still in work mode and you're answering emails on your phone, and I ask you a question, and you're like, 5 minutes later, what?
Wait, what did I agree to?
But I don't ask you out or ask you if you want a monkey or anything
Yeah.
during those moments. I can tell you're not paying attention.
All right. So then she goes, oh, I can't do this. And then he puts the cork back in.
I love that he puts the cork back. He's like, quick and painful, puts the cork back in. I have to save this wine for later now.
But then she confesses that she lost Marcel, and then Ross loses his shit. And
Right.
while he's yelling at her, they pan out to the balcony where Marcel is sitting calmly eating that Belgian waffle. And it's so funny because the first time we
Right.
watched it, we didn't notice it.
Right.
And the second time, we're like, what does he have? Oh my God, he's got that waffle.
Right, so there was a waffle, and he stole it. And I'll talk more about this later. But again, Ross spends so much time yelling instead of looking for the fucking monkey.
Right, right.
And I'm not in love with Rachel, and I'm not planning on asking her out that night.
Okay.
But the outfit that she is wearing, She could have told me she lost my daughter, and I'd have been like, all right, that's cool. And if she would have pressed her boobs together, been like, sorry. I would have forgotten about the whole thing.
All right, I'm going to try that the next time you're mad.
Okay.
See if it works.
So we're at Monica and Rachel's apartment. Rachel and Ross, back from the commercial. And Ross is sympathetic since he provided no crate and no leash or containment of any kind. And he loves her so completely that he takes control and he coordinates the search, gridding out the building. Oh, I'm sorry. No, he's just being a dick. He tells her that he should have started her off with a pencil.
That is so fucking mean. That the line itself is just like, that's when I would have cried and been like, fuck you, find your own goddamn monkey.
Right. But then animal control does this.
Yeah.
And he's like, you fucking called animal control?
I love her line. Why, do you not like them?
And she looked so cute and worried. How do you not give her a hug?
Right.
To make her feel that, I mean,
Yeah.
he knows she didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
It's not like she hated the fucking monkey.
No.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I
Yeah.
mentioned New York City things.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So if animal control came to the building and I was upset that you would call it animal control,
Right.
I'd be like, just keep quiet.
Right.
And I would answer the door, and I'd be like, those fucking kids upstairs have had 3 pizzas delivered, 1 Chinese food order, and the fucking cops here already tonight. Now it's fucking animal control. Go round up those kids before I rip their fucking heads off. I'll give you 50 if you put them all down for me. And slam the door in their face.
Right.
Because it's New York City.
Exactly. I mean, that's probably like the nicest she's been treated.
Right. There's no fucking monkey here. And how did you get here in 5 seconds? She was just on the phone with you. But Ross informs Rachel that Marcel is an illegal exotic animal and he's not allowed to have him in the city. He never thought that she'd invite animal control to the apartment, which is a pretty funny line, I have to say.
It is funny.
So animal control knocks, and it's Megan Kavanaugh, the actress, and she's still around working on stuff today. You called her Marla Hooch earlier.
Yeah.
She'll always be Marla Hooch from A League of Their Own to me.
I'm singing to Nelson, ain't I, baby?
And the pair lie badly about not having a monkey.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
And Mon and Phoebes comes in, and they have checked the 3rd and 4th floors, and Phoebes blows their weak-ass cover story. And animal control threatens 2 years in prison and confiscation of the animal. That ought to ensure their cooperation fully with animal control, I'd imagine.
Yeah, right. Of course I'll turn him in.
So Phoebe says, you put that poor little creature in jail? Again, funny line. They have a good time with all the monkey shenanigans.
Yes.
Monica tries to diffuse the situation, and she introduces herself, and then she recognizes Monica and Rachel.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm Louisa Giannetti from Lincoln High, and I sat behind you guys in homeroom. Geller, Green, Giannetti, her story checks out. But they have no idea who she is.
Yeah. Luis is upset that they don't remember her.
Right. And she's like, you could have been nice. You could have said nice overalls. Which, okay, they make an overall joke here about women wearing overalls. But all 3 of the women, their leads, wear overalls all the fucking time.
Yeah. But I guess it's one of those things.
It's my default for when I don't like any of the other outfits. Anyway, Monica apologizes, but Louisa says it wasn't so much her. She was fat. She had her own problems. But you, what a bitch. And Rachel says, what? And seriously, who is this lady?
Right.
Giving to him and they're like, hey.
What the fuck are you doing? You're new.
Right. Okay, you were new. Monica asks for leniency one last time, but Louisa says no. If I find that monkey, it's mine. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, Phoebe's so...
Which is probably, again, one of my other favorite moments from the show. Because it shows how much Phoebe cares about
finding Marcel.
Yeah.
All right, so then we jump to the hallway. Marcel jumps through a window. and scurries off before Chandler and Joey come down the stairs calling for Marcel.
Nobody's got their eyes peeled.
No. And why is the window in the hallway open? Anyway.
Yeah. No security in the building.
He knocks on the apartment that used to be theirs, apartment 5. And a sweaty blonde named Samantha. And I don't understand why they name these two women because they never, ever refer to them by their names. But in the credits, they're named. And poor Olivia is just a missions lady. But anyhow.
Oh. Well, again, you can't have, dental assistant open the door to the apartment number 5. You just have to give her a name.
Okay. But this sweaty blonde, Samantha, answers the door, and Chandler explains that they're looking for something. So the actress that played Samantha is Angela Visser, and she was Miss Holland in 1988 and Miss Universe in 1989.
And that's Visser with 2 S's?
Back off, buddy. She also appears on Baywatch, which the guys watch regularly.
Yeah, and we already had another Baywatch person.
Yeah, isn't that funny? All right, but anyhow, they ask if she's seen the monkey, and she says no, but ask them if they know how about fixing radiators. And Joey says, did you try turning the knob back the other way? Which is funny because in a later episode, he fixes Monica and Rachel's radiator.
Well, see, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Because that happens a few years later.
Oh, okay.
So he could have picked it up.
Okay.
Now, if they would have been reversed.
Right.
If he would have fixed the radiator first.
Right.
And then told these two he didn't know how to fix it.
Then you would have been like,
right.
What the hell? All right. So then the brunette comes to the door. Her name's Tia, and she asks if there's too much rum in this daiquiri.
Now, has she won any beauty contests?
No, it didn't have any beauty contest for her. She won best outfit for this episode. But they say they hope you find your monkey, and Chandler wants to stay because they're hot and they need their help.
Right.
But Joey, of all people, says, we gotta go.
Right.
And he's willing to walk away from the sweaty drinking women?
Right. What is with Joey here? Is it because he's on a friend mission?
I don't know.
So he refers to his code book that he has. He goes, oh, no, I can't.
I can't stop in the middle of a search for a monkey.
Right.
So then he describes Marcel and asks for pictures of the two ladies, and they slam the door in her face.
Yeah. I do like that when he describes the monkey, he goes, it's about yay big, but he gives like a chimpanzee size. It's
Maybe he was doing when he stands up.
It's way bigger than Marcel, man.
And then once they slam the door, I love how they start calling Marcel.
Marcel! Fucking hot girls. Hot girl!
So then we go down to the basement where Phoebe and Monica are. And they come down the stairs calling Marcel. And Phoebe shrieks. And then Monica shrieks.
Yes.
But do you remember that night when you woke up screaming in the middle of the night and then
Right.
I started screaming?
Yeah. So that was...
Before we had kids.
Yeah, before we had kids. We weren't married for very long.
No.
And I don't even know who started it.
You started screaming because my thought was, if Adam's screaming, it must be bad. So I started screaming.
I was reacting to you.
But anyhow, we're both screaming.
I kind of go, ah! And then she goes, ah! And then I go, ah! And we're both just screaming.
And then he goes, what are you screaming about? And I said, I'm screaming because you're screaming.
All the dogs in the neighborhood were barking.
And neither one of us know why we started screaming in the first place. So.
They were just like, oh, we're back to sleep.
All right. So anyhow, it's just Phoebe's other leg brushing up against her. And they see Marcel and try to coax him over, but Marla/Louisa comes down with a tranquilizer gun aimed at Marcel. And then it goes to slow-mo as Phoebe jumps in front of Marcel and Louisa shoots the dart gun.
And again, I like the Shaft music kicks in. It's very early 90s Tarantino-y influence.
It's cute. And she gets shot in the butt cheek, and Monica tells Marcel to run, and Louisa goes off in that direction and chases him. And then Phoebe almost faints from having to get that tranquilizer in the butt.
Right.
And then we cut to the hallway, and this is not Mr. Heckles' hands.
No.
But two hands come down and lift up Marcel.
It looks more like my hands than anybody else on the show.
It's definitely not Mr. Heckles' hands.
So then we're in the mean streets of New York City. Ross and Rachel. And Ross is whining about his lost monkey. And then he kicks a street sign and breaks his foot. He says, "Thank you very much." To Rachel. "That foot was just you, dumbass."
Yeah, no one told you to kick the sign.
No, it hurts when you kick the metal signs right when they get where they go into the concrete.
Right, yeah, that hurts.
That's
There's no give.
So Rachel says she apologized 1,000,000 times, and she asks if she should break her foot too. Again, she's starting to get sick of it.
Yeah.
Because he's probably been berating her for like an hour now.
I know, yeah.
And Rachel says she didn't do it on purpose. And he's like, "No, this is vintage Rachel. Off in little Rachel land, doing a real Rachel thing." And this is kind of what
Brad Pitt
says later, right?
But he does the most excellent hair flip.
Yeah. "Off in little Rachel land." I thought that sounded familiar. Yeah, that's what's his name in there? I can't remember. Will.
Yeah.
Oblivious to people's monkeys or feelings. Again, not the biggest Rachel defender. Again, she is spoiled. Nothing that he says about her is necessarily wrong. But as a person who professes to be in love with her, you think that he would not yell these things at her.
Right.
And I think this is one of the first times that I felt like I remember watching these shows when the kids were little all the time.
Yeah.
And this is like one of the first times I remember somebody yelling at somebody and thinking, as a father, I would not want my daughter seeing this dude.
Yeah.
But since Ross seems set more on bitching than finding Marcel, Rachel has to point out the large case of bananas headed toward the apartment building. And then they give chase.
Yeah, they chase after the bananas. So we're in the hallway outside Mr. Heckles' apartment. Mm-hmm. All 6 friends are there. They pound on Mr. Heckles' door while they're holding the box of bananas. And Phoebe says, "Oh, one side of her butt is asleep and the other side has no idea." And I love the look that Joey gives her. It's so funny. He's looking at her like, "What?"
The other 4 don't really have a lot to do in this episode.
Yeah.
All they do is provide humor. Sidelines and quotes and things.
And hot women.
It make the whole episode a lot more fun than...
Yeah, Ross yelling at Rachel.
Yeah, if it would have just been Ross and Rachel, you'd been like, "Oh my God." But they really do a good job balancing it with the others and making it more fun.
Yeah. So Mr. Heckles opens the door and Ross says, "Give me my monkey back." And he denies having a monkey. "What are the bananas for?"
Potassium.
And they hear Marcel in the background making monkey noises. What are those, like monkey calls, monkey shrieks? I don't know. Anyhow, they bust through, and he's wearing a tutu. And Mr. Heckles says, "That's not your monkey, that's mine, Patty the monkey." And Ross asks, "Are you insane?"
And it's impolite to ask an insane person if they're insane. I mean, that's a no-no. He's clearly a little insane.
So funny. But then they both call the monkey, and Louisa does as well. And the monkey, why? I don't know, but jumps in the crate.
Right.
And she traps him in the cage.
He's like, "I haven't been in a cage in a minute.
This guy just lets me run loose." So.
I need confinement. I need rules.
So both Mr. Heckles and Ross argue that it's their monkey until she mentions they can take it up before the judge.
It's not my monkey. It's just my dress. Send it back whenever you want.
That's such a funny line.
I like that there's no hesitation.
Yeah.
As soon as she says judge, he's like, "That's not my monkey."
So Ross argues with Louisa, who says no. And Rachel says she will lose the most important person, one of the most important people in her life, which makes, anyway, until Rachel threatens to call, Louisa's supervisor, because she shot her friend in the ass with a dart.
Yes.
They high five,
yes.
Which I think she's pretty lenient with Ross. She glosses over how mean he's been to her all night. And apparently they get the monkey back.
Right. So we're back at Monica and Rachel's, and Ross tries to get the tutu off Marcel, but he likes it. He's like, "I'm dressed up like Villanelle, my favorite TV show character." Ross, monkey back now, apologizes for being so hard on Rachel. And then he sort of thanks her for getting Marcel back.
Yeah.
And I think he says some pretty mean things that are, I mean, overall during the episode, I think that he said some pretty mean things that, in my opinion, are worse than the pro-cons list we have
a few
early
episodes.
in season 2.
Yeah.
That she gets so upset about. But I don't, she's very into her look, so. Despite that, Ross now pulls out the wine and he preps to ask Rachel out because he planned this.
Yes, because he can only ask her out when he's made a plan.
Right. At the very least, considering his behavior, I think he would at least be reevaluating asking her out at this point.
Yeah.
If we're to believe that he's so mad and that she is disappointed in him so greatly, why would he still want to ask her out?
Right.
Like, I don't understand this relationship. I mean, I think it's maybe it's like a drama thing. I know some people really have to have that drama, like a Kelly Kapoor.
From The Office?
Yeah. Like,
she knows Ryan is bad, but
they have to keep yelling at each other or they're not happy. Maybe it's one of those kind of things. And he turns out the lights, and he says that the neighbors must be vacuuming to explain him turning off the light.
Which would be Chandler?
Yeah. So he's still taking his sweet time.
Yes.
And Ross begins phase 1 of what I assume are 25 phases, the asking of Rachel out. But he's got to stick to the plan. Anticipate. Don't improvise. Trust no one. Never yield an advantage. Fight only the battle you're paid to fight.
Is he killing her or asking her out?
Sorry, I just watched The Killer again. So him sticking to the plan made me think of sticking to the plan. But yeah, watch The Killer.
It's good.
And Barry bursts in. I can't do it. I can't marry Mindy. I think I'm still in love with you.
So I noticed in my rewatch, while Barry's talking, he's looking back and forth at Ross and Rachel. Like, while he's saying, I can't do it. I can't marry Mindy. I think I'm still in love with you. He's looking at both of them. It's like, what? Right. You're supposed to be talking to Rachel.
We've got to start locking that door.
All right, so then we end up with a tag at Central Perk. Monica, Phoebe, Chandler, and Joey. They're looking at photos and the yearbook, and Monica is blocking the Von Trapp kids.
Yes.
And Joey said he loved high school. There was dating and partying and sex. And this is where Chandler went to boarding school with 400 boys. And any sex he would have had would have been a major lifestyle choice.
Right.
And then they talk about how it was 1,000,000 years ago. And they're only 25. So it's only been a couple of years for them. Right. But it was 1,000,000 years ago for us.
Yeah.
We graduated 1,000,000 years ago. And then Phoebe does my favorite part. She starts jumping around because her butt cheek is waking up.
That's right, it is.
And that's the end of the episode.
That's the end. Cut and print.
That was a fun one.
That was.
All right, we're going to take another short break. We'll be right back. Marcel.
Marcel. Oh my God.
What?
Something just brushed up against my leg.
Which one?
Which one?
You told me the left one was Lucky.
Oh, I see what you did there.
And we're back for the wrap up.
Back for the wrap.
All right, so what I learned this episode.
Okay.
I'm not surprised that Rachel was a bitch in high school.
No.
But class president?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
When she said class president, I was like, wait, what?
What did you learn?
That Rachel still has feelings for Barry? Question mark. That Barry still has feelings for Rachel? Question mark. That Ross has too many feelings for Marcel? Period. Joey isn't always distracted by hot women? Question mark. And Phoebe will definitely put her ass on the line to protect an animal. Full stop.
All right, final thoughts.
I think Barry rethought his life choices after his vacation to Alabama with Ralph Macchio. And they got falsely charged with murder, and Ralph's cousin Vinny had to get them off. And that's why he went back to Rachel.
Yeah, we also watched My Cousin Vinny not that long ago.
And Barry was the other kid.
Yeah, so it's Ralph Macchio. Yeah, and Barry. All right, so my final thoughts is all those bananas would have gone bad before Marcel could have eaten them. Yeah, that was a huge box of bananas.
Well, Mr. Heckles doesn't always think things all the way through.
Because he's insane.
Right. He's just put them in the hallway.
All right. So sadly, sweater vest tracker,
Nil.
none. So we're still standing at 17 sweater vests on episode 19.
So sad.
I know, but there'll be more. I'm sure there will be.
I'm hoping for an even 20 or more by the end of the season.
Okay. All right.
That's my hope.
Okay. We can do it. I don't know, but we will. All right. So next week.
If Burroughs directs a couple of them, we should be okay.
That's right.
He always throws in the sweater vest for some reason.
All right, so next week's episode is...
The one with the evil orthodontist. That's right. Barry has an affair with Rachel while cheating on Ferris Bueller's sister, which does not sound like a prank-free endeavor. I do not recommend it.
All right, that's the end. Maladjusted content. So you did mention earlier that you watched The Killer, which has, and I never remember his name. But
Michael Fassbender.
Yes, he's really cute. So he's another one I think is cute.
David Fincher's new movie on Netflix.
Yeah, it's really good. And then we did recently watch My Cousin Vinny. Mm-hmm. We had to buy it because we didn't have it. But I was like, I haven't seen it in so long, and I remember thinking it was so funny, and it was. Very funny.
Yeah, it was. I forget what made you get it under your skin that you wanted to watch My Cousin Vinny. But we were surprised that Barry was the other guy in it.
Yeah.
We were like, holy shit, it's Barry.
I think it's because I do like Marissa Tomei. And I think we were talking about Emmys and Oscars, and I remember her winning an Oscar for that. Right. And I was like, I got to see it again.
Teased about it.
Yeah, I got to see it again. And she was really good. Yeah. She was funny.
But yeah, it's a good one. I like it a lot.
So it was a short week at work this week because of the holiday, because of New Year's. So I got to work from home, but I only had to work 3 days. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, short week for you.
Yep. Oh, so yesterday, Adam and the girl kid and I drove an hour back to our hometown, because we don't live there anymore, to get pizza. Because after rewatching this episode like 4 or 5 times, Adam said that every time he saw the guy standing there eating pizza, he remembered our pizza shop back home. Yeah. Yeah, so we drove back home to get pizza.
We haven't had a really good pizza for a while.
Yeah.
There's no good places around us right now.
Yeah. And the other thing is that, and I don't know if this is an Ohio thing or what, but they don't have JoJo's. Yeah. JoJo's are really good breaded potatoes. Like, they're not French fries.
They are an Ohio thing.
Yes.
Nobody knows what the hell you're talking about when you say JoJo's.
I know, but now they'll look them up. Google JoJo's. And they're really good, but none of the pizza shops around here have them. So.
No, we're too out. I think it's a southern Ohio thing.
Oh, really?
That kind of made its way up toward where we were. Mm-hmm. But, we're too far north now.
Okay. But yeah, so we drove an hour for pizza. That was kind of fun.
Well, we went and did other stuff too.
All right, yeah. We went to the bookstore.
So what'd you want to watch tonight, though?
Well, we do need to finish the Fargo season 4.
You're not always in the mood for Fargo.
I know. I do have to be in the mood for Fargo. It's it's an hour, you know.
Yeah, they're hour episodes.
So you have to commit.
We're closing in on the new season, though.
Yeah.
I haven't got to watch any of those yet.
Right.
I need to see Juno Temple soon, or else...
So one of our dogs is named after a Juno Temple character.
Yes.
So she was in, what was that movie called?
Horns
with
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe. And her name is Marin. Her character name is Marin. So we have a girl dog named Marin after that character.
We named her that after I had read the book. The movie hadn't come out then.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that's just coincidentally.
Yes.
She played Marin.
That's so funny.
We had already named her that before the movie came out.
Speaking of Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes.
You've been watching Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
Yes.
Yes. So
now I've watched it. It's on Roku for free. You can watch it with commercials. But I loved it so much that I bought the Blu-ray so I don't have to watch commercials. Because that drives me insane.
Yeah. Plus, Adam has this theory that all these streaming things where you've bought movies are someday going to go away. And then all these movies that you bought, you will no longer have. So if he really, really likes it, we have to buy it.
Right. I need a physical copy.
Right.
And that's one of those things that a lot of people are complaining about. Because like HBO, I forget what show it is. But they canceled the show.
Yeah.
After one season and then pulled it.
Yeah, they took it. Shining Vale.
Shining Vale did.
Yeah.
They did the same thing.
Yeah.
They canceled it and they pulled it.
Yeah, so you can't even watch it, which we
Right.
wanted to watch because Courtney Cox is in it.
Right. But now it's just gone.
Yeah.
You can't, because there's probably not any physical copies of that.
Right. Well, which is one of the reasons why we bought the DVD versions or Blu-ray versions of Friends, because they took it off Netflix.
Right.
And so we didn't have a copy of it. So, yeah. But now it's on Hulu.
Friends?
Yeah.
Friends is on HBO Max.
HBO Max. Okay. But we have copies of it now.
Yes, but we have copies of it because, again, when you really like something and you want to watch it whenever, I feel like the streaming services kind of, Netflix really boned everybody because I forget what their first movie was that they produced. But as soon as they produced that first movie, I was like, oh no. All these other studios are going to now consider Netflix competition.
Right.
And they're not going to give them rights to their stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And now they all started their own streaming services, and now it's crazy.
Still cheaper than cable, but...
Well, it's still cheaper than cable,
Yeah.
which we haven't had cable in
years.
20 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, we didn't have it way back when because it was too much.
It's expensive, yeah. All right, Misfits. We're going to take off. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
If you would like your thoughts or reactions regarding future episodes to be shared with the rest of the class, or if you just want to reach out and say hey.
Come on, we want to hear more from you out there. I'm going to send Ross to your house.
You can email us at themaladjustedmisfits@gmail.com. Rate us and leave positive comments.
And if you have a negative comment, try to leave it in a positive way.
And check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Joe, you ready for a cup of coffee?
Always. Please, Aunt Monica, please. Oh, unclench. You won't even be here.